So we're putting on rear splash guards on a Suburban today, 2022. Basically, first thing you do is try to take the wheel off the tire. I tried doing it on the other side and just not enough room to really work. So basically you start with taking these two screws out. Okay, after you get those screws out, I just lay them top and bottom so that they line up nice when you put them back in. But basically you start with this piece here, and you need to put in these pieces in there's one on the top. Just gonna line up that hole. And you got one right here. And there will be one right there, but we have to drill a hole. So first thing we do here is take the bracket. It's basically gonna line up those existing holes. The other thing you gotta make sure is making sure this is nice and straight. There's some additional instructions on the Chevy install sheet, I think, to adjust this, but mine actually is in good shape, so I don't have to do anything. But essentially, yeah, you'll take this piece I just assembled, and we're just gonna put those same screws back in that I took out where those holes line up. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so now that I got that on, there's two holes here. This one, you're gonna drill a 1/4 inch. This is gonna be 13/64. So this is where a rivet's gonna go into. And then once we get that hole drilled, we'll put one of these guys in there so that it'll attach the splash guard. I just kind of took the splash guard and lined it up to make sure that it fits up pretty nice. You know, follows the body, looks like it does, so that's good. So I know I got this bracket kind of where it should be. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and drill a 13/64 here and 1/4 there. All right, so I got my two holes drilled. Again, this is the 1/4 13/64. So now here's the rivet. Just put it in the rivet tool. There we go. Just gotta get it loaded here. Doing this one hand, so it's kind of fun. Shove it in there, and then go ahead and put it in a hole. Oh, sorry, wrong hole. I gotta put it in the top one. So I'm gonna use two hands. I'm just gonna put my hand on the back side to make sure it really touches this and really holds it snug like a sandwich. All right, so I got the rivet in here, and I just slid this in place. So there's a 1/4 inch hole behind there for the screw to pass through, and made sure when I put the rivet together that I held this backing nice and close to it. Yeah, so now we basically got the mounting plate in place. So now we can basically test fit this in. There are three longer screws, I should say three shorter screws and one longer screw. The longer screw is gonna go through on the back side here, and it's gonna connect to that. And this piece will just sit on top of that fascia. It doesn't actually, but we have to drill another hole for that. So, but first we gotta put those three screws in here to get it kind of aligned where that hole should be, and then we'll take a pencil and draw where we need to drill that. So, essentially, we're gonna put that right in place. I'm gonna screw it on, and then we're gonna take a pencil and push this in and drill that one. And I don't want to drill through the splash guard because I want that hole to be larger. All right, so I just attached that. It's pretty, kind of want to make sure it follows the bracket. So this is the part I was talking about. Now it's on, you want to push this whole thing back with your hand, and then take a pencil, mark that, and drill that at 13/64. And then obviously you got to take this whole assembly off before you drill it because we want to keep that hole that original size. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this and drill a hole, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, so we got our hole drilled there, 13/64s, and now we're gonna take this. So a couple things here. Make sure this area where this tape is gonna stick to is clean. So what I'd recommend is using that alcohol prep wipe it comes with. The other thing is before you put this on, take the tape and fold it to the right like that. because when you go to pull this off, it'll make that come off a lot easier. This is the second time I've installed these on a vehicle, so if you don't do that, it doesn't come off right. It gets kind of, the tape just kind of gets kind of screwed up. So yeah, I'm gonna put this against the vehicle, tighten the 3 screws back on, put the screw underneath there. Essentially, like I said, this is gonna sit above that fascia. It's not gonna go through it, so I'll show you in the next picture. All right, so I got those 3 back on. It's nice and snug up to that bracket. Just start to put this in. Essentially, like I said, this is just gonna sit on top of this piece here. And then once we're done with that, we'll pull the string on that. And that essentially finishes up, and put the wheel back on at 150 foot-pounds. Also recommend when you do this, use jack stands. All right, get everything looking pretty good here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the tape. Like I said, it was nice how and it comes off really nice because I folded it like that. I'm just gonna hold this for about a minute. And like I said, just put the wheel back on, lug nuts, 150 pounds, and you're good to go.